Well, hey everybody. Hey, I was asked in a private message about what I thought about what was going on now and kind of what's going on going forward. And as I've said in many of my past videos, I have a longer term view as far as the silver market goes than maybe a lot of people do because I myself view silver as savings. I don't really attempt to trade it on a daily basis. I don't try to turn it over real quick and make any money off it right now. So for me, I think long term, and I still see as long term the price of silver going to go higher. And an article that just came out the other day talks about China's 5-year plan, a new 5-year plan that they have. I think it's their 12th, and it includes energy, obviously. And one of the things that they are planning to do by 2015 is to increase their solar energy capacity to 10 gigawatts. Right now, they fall under just 1 gigawatt. I guess it's 860,000 kilowatts is what they're approximately doing right now. And as I've also said in one of my older videos, it takes approximately 20 grams of silver to complete a photovoltaic solar panel. And obviously, that's the average. There's probably bigger panels that take more and smaller panels that take less. But the point being is they're going to need a lot of silver to complete this project. And it won't be only silver. It would necessitate having a lot of copper because you're going to have to lay copper wires to deliver and transfer that kind of power around their country. And there'll be silver in the switching stations and all the different things that it takes to deliver electricity around the country. So their 5-year plan, well, this is in their 5-year plan, but it's by 2015. They want to increase their power capacity, their solar power capacity, up to 10 gigawatts. So, I mean, that's a huge. There's 9 gigawatts to go. So that's a huge amount of. It's a huge goal. It's a huge amount of resources they're going to need to put it all together. Huge amount of metals they're going to need to get it all together. So that's my outlook. Is that down the road, long term, we're going to have a higher silver price. And right now, I mean, even though it's been beat down as of late, the last month or so, it's still hovering at 35, 50 right about now. So, I mean, it wasn't that long ago. We were all rooting for it to go over 30. So, keep in mind, it's still over 35. It's still a good deal. And I don't know when you got in, but, I got in quite a bit lower than 35 myself. And I buy periodically, so it really doesn't matter what the price is at the time. I just try to buy it when I can. If I have extra money that I'm going to use for savings, that's what I do. So that's kind of my take. A lot of the things that we've talked about in the past still apply. I mean, if you had a checklist going down, there's little changed over the months. The American Congress is still, arguing over, what they're going to do, and so basically they haven't done anything. They've spent so much time arguing about budgets and deficits and debts. They haven't done actually anything to reduce any of it. So, and I don't see anything of that like changing past this next election. So I think we'll have to get past this next election until anything actually changes. And then obviously I don't believe it'll change then either. But let's hold out hope that they can pull off something and get something cut and actually care for once about our country instead of themselves in their next election. So that's where I'm at with everything going on. And I think really going forward, the biggest indicator, the biggest thing we all should be watching is energy prices because China is going to use up a lot of energy. The developing world uses a lot of energy. We still use a lot of energy. They're predicting shortfalls in oil production going forward. We're going to be using more oil than really can be produced to keep up with it. So there's huge energy shortfalls coming. So I believe there's going to be huge energy spikes. Coal, oil, anything, electricity, natural gas. Natural gas happens to be one of the resources that we have a lot of here in America. So hopefully we can capitalize on that. But the infrastructure to deliver all that natural gas, I'm not sure is there yet. Places like the Northeast are really heavy in home heating oil, the older style oil burners and all that. So, I mean, we still have a long way to go. So I think oil, I think energy, and obviously still natural resources are going to be the thing to watch going forward. And as you're probably all well aware, China has secured mining operations around the world to acquire these natural resources. And even the other day, I read an article about the the oil shale and the natural gas shale down there in Texas. China has already acquired some rights down there, as well as so has Norway. So a lot of times you'll get these emails that are sent around the internet talking about we have 3 times the amount of oil as Saudi Arabia underneath the Colorado Rockies and all these different places, and of course the shale in Texas. But I mean that doesn't mean we own it all, because there's other nations' interests buying up mineral rights in different areas of our own country, and they're securing it for themselves. They're not going to refine it and put it here in America. So the Chinese are active in securing resources around the world, and I'm not sure that America is as active as we should be. But that being the case, like I said, energy and resources going forward are the thing to watch, and it's going to be the thing that I believe every nation is going to be clamoring for. Because in order to have the kind of economies that we in the West here are accustomed to having, you have to have huge resources. You have to have huge amounts of energy. If there's any energy shortfall at all, it impacts everything that we do. And one last thing I would like to add toward energy. If you notice, any time we get even a little bit of semi-good news about a certain sector of the economy, the price of oil per barrel goes up. So on one hand, we have people saying that the high price of oil is hurting our economy, but the minute that we get any good news about the economy anywhere in the world, the price of oil goes up. So we're in kind of a pickle. So I think high cost of oil, I think it's here to stay. For as much as these people send emails and Facebook about the 3 Saudi Arabias under the Colorado Rockies, that stuff is not cheap to extract. So don't confuse energy independence with cheap oil. We may have a lot of oil there that's technically reachable, but it's not going to be cheap. And so I think if we in the West and we in America keep in mind that oil prices are not going to go down, that they're going to remain expensive, then we can prepare and we can budget and we can do all the things we need to do to cope with it. But if we have this thing in our head that it's all going to go down and we have so much money and we can drive huge gas guzzling SUVs all we want to, you're right, you can drive them all you want to, but just keep in mind that you're going to be paying a higher cost and a higher price for gasoline. So that's kind of the way I see things right now, and that's kind of where my focus is. I'm looking more towards energy and things like that, because I think that's where the real indicator for the economy at all is going to be, either in growth or even in a decline in the economy. So that's kind of my take on things as of late, and if you have a comment, please leave it below.